something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, peaches! Welcome to Fix It. We're friends. Don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay. And you're our listener.
Oh, hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners.
By the chains of insanity, listeners.
Yeah, everybody. Hope you guys like magic, because you all can do it now. That's right.
Look under your chairs. Everyone's got a sling ring.
Everyone's magic. That's right. We partnered with, the local magic shop. Got everyone a wand. We decided, Vlisteria is going to be one of those like hidden magical places. We might as well make it magic as well.
Might
You know
as
what
well,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. Peach Thulu approves, and he is pumping a little bit of his eldritch energy into all of your guys' spells. So everyone's a warlock now, so enjoy. But welcome to our show, Fix It. I'm Jay, that's Adam. You may know us from the wildly successful YouTube reaction channel Previewed. You also may know us from that billboard.
You know the one.
You know the one. Welcome.
Oh, boy.
Welcome
I'm not checking fan art.
This is our podcast Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just brought out the dark old 10 minutes in, and we fix it. And today we're going to be fixing the second installment in the Doctor Strange movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. Was it really a Doctor Strange
movie that I thoroughly enjoyed in the theaters and didn't really think needed to get fixed. And then upon rewatching it with the Discord, we did a watch along with the Discord. If you have not joined the Preview Discord server, may I highly recommend it. It's if you're looking for your own internet best friends, it's a great place to start your quest. That's a lot.
Also, you become a warlock.
Yeah, that too. Well, that's Vlisteria. The Discord and Vlisteria are,
It's like a suburb of?
Well, yeah, Vlisteria is, it has loose ties. It's like, your passport.
It's a sister city to the Orchard.
Your passport works both ways. You know what I'm saying?
It's an EU situation.
Yeah, it's like a St. Paul, Minneapolis, I think. It's basically the same place.
Basically Canada, okay.
They have the same baseball team. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they do.
It's the Twin Cities.
It's the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, what are we talking about? Yeah, join the Discord. But also, we did a watch along with the Discord, and I realized that this movie has a lot of problems upon a second rewatch, which is interesting. So we should be fixing. We'll be fixing that today. But before we get into fixing it, we have come to everyone's absolute most favoritist segment. We took a poll.
It was mandatory.
And we've come to everyone's favorite segment. It's called Roll for Convo. I have a 20-sided die. Our producer, Brian, who's the best producer in the game, but also got that billboard taken down.
Thank you, Brian.
You know the one.
There's going to be a couple of very clever peaches that come up with something pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. It's almost as if my whole existence is just baiting those people.
Oh, it's almost if.
Oh yeah, you almost didn't bring it up.
I almost forgot.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is for the people watching on YouTube.
Bang, 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 bang. There it is. That's not Roll for Convo.
It isn't. I'm sorry. Roll.
Our 20-sided die. We have 20 topics of conversation from our producer. Let's see which one is going to be our first segment.
Oh boy, you almost lost the die, and it's a
6.
Gentleman's 6. Have we talked about zoos yet? How do we feel about zoos? Do you have a favorite? A least favorite? What's your relationship with zoos? Anything goes in zoo talk. And this is more Brian talking. I love zoos because they're fun, but they also make me sad.
No. We don't care what Brian has to say. We don't come to Roll for Convo to hear what. No. You ask a question and you move on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Knowing full well that he's going to have a segment in that
He will finish that thought.
whatever.
Yeah.
No, but what did Brian say?
He loves zoos because they're fun, but they also make him sad, and he loves that combo.
What?
Anything goes in zoo talk.
He likes. They also make him sad.
Zoos? Yeah, man.
I don't get any sadness from a zoo.
Really?
It's zero. Those animals are living the sweet life. Yeah. I love a zoo. I love a zoo with a capital L. I love a zoo. It's probably my favorite outing. Like, if you have to go, like, find an activity to do, I love going to the zoo. Don't give me that disgusted face. Don't you give me that face. You don't like a zoo at all?
No, zoos, I mean, when I was a kid, zoos are great. But, as I get older and learn what the heck was going on, like, it's not the best thing in the world.
Zoos, how do you think conservation efforts happen?
Sure, if there are some, but I mean, they're still living in captivity, man.
I understand that, but zoos, like, for the most part, are the only way to get the public's attention on a lot of these, like, animals issues.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of how, but also, like, zoos rehabilitate injured animals.
Absolutely.
Zoos,
I mean, there is a lot of good.
I think zoos are good with a capital G, and I'm not sure why I'm capitalizing a lot of letters today. But we are, and it's here we are. Yeah, I love a zoo. What's your favorite animal in a zoo?
Favorite animal in a zoo? Probably something that's inside, so it can be in an air-conditioned building.
You'd like the Minneapolis Zoo.
Oh,
you know why? Because you don't have to go outside.
Oh, really? Most of it's inside? Cool. It's cool inside.
Yeah.
Zoos are, dude, there's nothing worse than middle of summer being at a zoo, no tree cover, just getting blasted by the sun in the desert, in the middle part of, like, there's no water or any
man, looking at a bunch of meerkats just getting roasted. I don't know. There are worse. I'd rather be doing that than, if I have to be out in the sun and getting roasted, the zoo would be the one place I'd rather be.
Oh, okay.
So I can look at the animals and stuff. It makes me sad when the animals are too hot, though. But also when it's too hot, they're not really out. They're usually inside too. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I love a zoo. They make me so like, oh, when you go to the Philadelphia Zoo, they have, like, the big cats enclosure. They have like these big, like, walkways, like, over the pathways and stuff, so the big kitties can, like,
climb and go and do.
Yeah, they have, like, their enclosure's, like, so huge, but, like, you'll just be walking, be like, oh, where's the tiger today? Oh, he's right above us. He's just hanging out.
He's a clever girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did I ever tell you one of the best times I've ever had at the zoo?
You've not.
Okay.
But anything goes in zoo talk, Jay.
Anything goes in zoo talk. We were having Kimberly and I were at the zoo in Philadelphia.
Yes.
And we had just gone together because we like to go to the zoo together. It's a fun.
Are you guys dating at this point?
Oh, we're long married. This is like 4 years ago.
Well past dating then.
Yeah. This is like post-COVID.
Okay. So you've been married for a little while.
Yes.
So this is like your.
Do you have to be married to go to the zoo? Is that what's happening right now?
Just give me a hard time.
Oh, okay.
I felt like you just needed a little bit of a.
Hey man, the suspension in my car is kind of going. I kind of needed you to stop pulling. I need you to stop pulling the speed bumps out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you want to get this car up to speed, you're gonna have to stop throwing so many curves in. Anyways.
What number date would you say this would be then?
Yeah.
you and your wife.
It was, I don't know, last year. It was 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like COVID was, like, we were just starting to, like, maybe be okay about.
Outside seemed mostly safe at that point.
Yeah, but we were just, like, COVID protocols were just loosening. If that makes any sense.
I do. Yeah.
We were, like, on our way back, as it were. Okay, so we're at the Philadelphia Zoo. There's a huge long line for it. They're like, we're going to the big cat enclosure, and they have, like, a line, like, leading up to it, because they're trying to observe, like, COVID protocols. They don't want too many people, like, in the window area where you can see the thing. Like, they just kind of want to. So it's taking forever. But we're walking through, and we get to a point we're like, screw it, we'll wait in line. We don't got anywhere to be. It's fine. It's lions. I want to see the lions. And we get to the front, and we realize what has taken so long was not necessarily the COVID protocol. The big male lion was just laying right next to the
Glass?
The glass. He was just right there. Mm-hmm. And he was like looking into the glass and just being a big sweetie kitty. And it was just like, and so it was taking forever because like everyone just was like taking a moment with the big sweet lion, which was awesome. It was dope. I was like, cool, we're going to get to see this lion up close. And like, as it becomes our turn, like in a social situation, I want to remain courteous. Like I want to be like, I want to make sure that like, you know, I will almost defer on being over courteous. I'm from the Midwest. It's like, I'm just like, great, line, neat. Other person's turn. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we get to the front, but then as we're like getting up to our turn, the big like female lion comes down and like starts to kind of like nuzzle up against the big male lion. And I was like, oh no, she's going to like take his spot and kick him out of here. And I just want to look at him. That is not what happened. She came up. And then she started grooming the male lion and like licking him with like her huge
massive tongue. Yeah,
their tongues are huge.
They're huge. Yes.
And he was just loving it, and he was just like laying there, and she was just licking him. And I look at the lady who's like moving the line along, and I was like, "Yo, this is." And she was like, "No, this rules." She's like, "My job is cool." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna. Normally I'd move along, but she's like, just enjoy the moment. Just like watch. So like literally every once in a while, Kimberly and I were looking at each other and be like, remember when the lions licked each other? Wasn't that great? She's like, yeah, that was cool. It's just like you get memories in your life where you're just like, that was a neat thing we saw. All right, what we're doing, great. Yeah, I love a zoo, dude. I like when you can go see the penguins and they're like in a chilly space. Mm-hmm. I love that stuff. Yeah, I love it.
Have you been to the DC zoo with the pandas are there?
Yes. I have a much longer extended story about the pandas, but that's honestly that would be
that's for a second zoo talk.
It's a one man. That's my one man show.
Oh my god.
But yeah, dude, I've seen the pandas. I went to see the pandas in DC, and I went to see the pandas in DC, and my dad always tells people what was funny about it was. Because we didn't have pandas everywhere, I stayed at the pandas for like an hour.
Whoa!
And like when people would just like come by and like just kind of like glance at them and go away, I'd be like, "Hey, come back here! Like, there's pandas. This is really cool. This is a cool thing."
How old were you?
I think it was in 4th grade.
Oh, okay, so that's still cute.
It was like, guys, appreciate this. This is so cool.
Yeah.
This is a rare thing.
I'm 9 years old.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to listen to what I'm saying.
Look at this stuff. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have any pandas anymore, though.
No, they don't.
It's really lame.
Yeah, it is.
It really sucks. There's no reason to go there anymore. I'm sure they have lots of other stuff.
There's lots of other stuff at the DC Zoo.
Have you been to the Central Park Zoo?
No, there's a couple zoos here in the city, right?
Have you been to the Bronx Zoo?
I've been to any of them.
Oh. They're both quite good.
I've heard.
Central Park is good. It's a little small, and Bronx is huge, and they have some pretty serious animals there.
Well,
it's like no joke. That's one thing I'm excited to take the boy to once he gets a little bit older.
Oh,
yeah, that's gonna be a fun day.
Zoo food is also pretty good. Burgers, pizza, hot dogs.
Yeah, it's like
fries.
it's like bowling alley food.
Yeah,
it's like that's like going to the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love a ball. Yeah, I love a. There is something you can't. There is a magic
Popcorn.
in that nacho cheese that you can't quite replicate.
You
could buy that cheese.
Yeah,
you could buy it,
but
it's not going to be the same.
No,
it's just not.
I think because it's something. Is it in the way it's prepared in like an industrial type of way at a zoo or at a major theme park or stadium that you just can't replicate at home?
I guess. I don't know. I think it's also just like I think it's also the just the fiction you build in your own head.
Oh.
You know? There's a magic to it, you know?
Of the zoo?
Of like a zoo food prep?
Oh, okay.
Are we still talking about the same thing?
I know. I thought you had moved on to something else.
No. I will say the one thing I can skip at the zoo, the ape enclosure is not usually my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, don't bang on the glass or look at the gorilla or he'll freak out and charge. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't want to do that. I don't even want to risk that.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm way good.
Understandable.
When's the last time you went to a zoo, you think?
It was only a couple years ago. I went with my nephews and niece when they were up
To DC?
to the DC Zoo. Yep.
What's your favorite animal to see at the zoo?
Well, remember I sent you pictures of the panda.
Yeah, because you know I like pandas.
Yeah. Big cats are cool. There was a polar bear. I think there was a polar bear at the DC Zoo when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure because there were penguins and stuff, but I don't think it. I think it's too warm now for that stuff.
Yeah.
The lizard stuff's pretty neat. The reptile exhibits are pretty cool.
I like it when a zoo has prairie dogs. Those are fun. Also, when you can see their little tunnels.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
always a good time where you can tunnel underneath and poke your little head out in their little enclosure. That's always fun. When you can interact with the creatures in a way, it's really fun. And I'm aware zoos are sad to some degree.
To some degree.
But also
there is a balance of it being conservation, helping, and
it really depends on the zoo, though.
Yes, it does depend on the zoo. Yeah.
I mean, I think the majority of the zoos that I've been to, the St. Louis has a pretty exceptional zoo, actually. It just really depends on how well they're cared for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I've been to some sad zoos.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, you go to like a smaller zoo, it's like, yeah, as long as it's about conservation and it's about educating the public about animals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. We share this planet with these creatures that we should take care of.
Yeah, we should know what they are, and
Yeah.
we should know how.
Yeah.
But when it's just literally like, we gotta steal some tickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's different. That's just a circus without the top rope.
Mm-hmm, about the rings. Yeah.
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 And that ain't it.
That ain't it at all.
But yeah, I don't. If I'm being 1,000% honest with you, mentally, I do not equate the concept of a zoo as being a sad thing. It's just not a thought I have. And I'm sure. And guys, I do not need the articles. I'm sure you're right. Just
if Jay is wrong, he understands.
yeah, but that's just
Understandable.
I love a zoo. I love a zoo. I love a zoo souvenir. A souvenir, as we call them in the business.
Yeah, for God's sakes.
Yeah, man.
Boo. A souvenir.
A souvenir.
Ugh. Let's move on to Multiverse of Madness.
Well, that's been everyone's favorite segment. We took a poll. Roll for convo. So, Multiverse of Madness. The second in the Doctor Strange movie. And I mentally forget that it is a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
In my head, it's the Scarlet Witch movie.
Yeah.
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 This movie, we saw it in the theaters together, and then I remember turning to you afterwards, like, some of that was really fun, but man, what? Why these things? You're like, I had fun, and I didn't want to I didn't want to yuck your yum.
Yeah.
You had a really good time.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Okay, and then. Well, when did this movie come out? I don't even remember this movie came out, right?
I want to say it's 2020.
Oh, I mean 2022 maybe? Well, it was after WandaVision, obviously.
Yeah.
But I remember when we were coming up with the idea for Fix It, one of the first movies I had, I was like, oh no, Doctor Strange 2. Man, that Multiverse of Madness needs to be on the list, and you were
2022.
You were against this movie being on the list of movies needing to be fixed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just put it on the list. Maybe we'll get to it at some point.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Click as I type with just
and
two fingers.
and it kind of came out in the community like, oh, we might do this one, and everyone was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, well, I think we have to. And if I'm being honest, I did not. I thought the structure of the show was going to be you're going to present a fix to me, and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. But having rewatched this with the Discord the other night, this movie needs some help. This movie, I think I got swept away in that there is a lot this movie does right.
Yes.
Like, this movie is not like I still think this is a worthwhile like flick. It's just in the grand scheme of things, there could have been things that they could have done better. But compared to the first Doctor Strange, this movie was like a huge step in the right direction from like a character perspective.
Yes.
But the story structure just kind of falls apart.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But before we go any further,
yeah,
maybe we should kick it to Brian.
Yeah, we should have probably Brian let us know about Multiverse of Madness. He's probably also going to talk about the zoos, even though nobody
asked Brian what he thought about zoos. I'm sorry, Brian's the one who asked us, so I don't know why he needs to be talking about zoos.
Brian, I love you, Brian. You're my best friend in the whole world. I'm so sorry for so many of you, but also don't talk about zoos. Brian, why don't you roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage?
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here. And today we're trying to fix the 28th film in the MCU, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Released in 2022, this sequel is written by Michael Waldron and directed by the great Sam Raimi. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, Elizabeth Olsen, Xochitl Gomez, and more. Here are some fun bean facts. This movie had a budget of around $294.5 million and made $955.8 million at the box office. Scott Derrickson was supposed to return as the director, but left the project over creative differences. Now, Sam Raimi took over, and it was his first superhero movie since Spider-Man 3. He loved Doctor Strange growing up and was excited to be on a film that was going straight to production. Now, Michael Waldron was the head writer on Loki Season 1, and his intention when writing Multiverse of Madness was to transition Wanda into the big bad with empathy. Now, this movie had a ton of rewrites, especially when Waldron took over from the previous screenwriters and tried to make everything work. Now, if you care, this movie has a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.0 out of 5 on Letterboxd. And I do want to add some of my feelings on zoos. I love zoos. I love the conservation effort. I love everything about zoos. But they also make me kind of sad, and I kind of like that combination. Everywhere I go, I try to go to a zoo. I've been to the New Orleans Zoo, all the New York ones, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, San Diego. I've been to ones in Barcelona. I've been to ones in London. I've been to ones in Australia. I love zoos, especially giraffes. I love looking at these alien things, like which one of these is not like the other. The zoo. I once fed one. It was great. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen, and enjoy writing your fix.
Thanks, Brian.
Good job, Brian.
Great job, Brian. Wonderful job, Brian. Whew. Okay.
So before we get to all the good stuff, because there's lots of good stuff.
There is, yeah.
We should probably do the plof drop.
The plop drop?
The plop drop?
The plof drop? Did you say plof drop?
Yeah.
Did you misspeak trying to do the misspoke?
I did. Is it not plof? Was it plop?
It's plop.
Oh.
Plof drop is the bean footage because it's Brian Plofsky.
Yes.
You didn't even remember what...
Jay, we make a lot of content now, and I forgot the fact that I misspoke the T to a P. I thought it might have been a P to an F.
That's fair.
Or a PH.
That's fair.
I had an H, actually.
That's fair.
Here's a plop drop. Okay, so this is after WandaVision. But we don't focus on Wanda. We're focusing on Doctor Strange. And somewhere in the multiverse, there's a Doctor Strange with America Chavez, which, if you've never read the comics, this is a brand new character to you. She basically can just travel the multiverse. She is a singular entity in the multiverse.
And she drops out of nowhere.
She drops out of absolute nowhere and seemingly has no importance in the MCU at all. She doesn't at the moment.
No.
Doesn't at all.
She hasn't come back up one time.
Nope. Not even
She was
once.
a big plot point. Anyways,
so they're running through the multiverse. They get chased by a monster. This Doctor Strange tries to attempt to kill her to protect the multiverse from her power. It doesn't work out. Monster is able to capture her for a brief second before America's powers kick in and sucks a dead Doctor Strange and America into our MCU universe. Whereupon our Doctor Strange, that we've known and loved for the past, I guess 5 years since his first movie's come out, is attending Christine's wedding. Because I guess she got married or met a guy. I'm assuming she didn't get snapped for this relationship to happen during the blip. So she met a guy, she's getting married, and Doctor Strange is totally fine with it. He's completely and totally fine with the love of his life marrying somebody else. That's what we keep saying to everybody who asks him. And then the monster attacks. He goes down, finds out, this monster's chasing America Chavez again. Oh, they defeat the monster. In a cool fight. Wonger shows up. Wong is awesome. Wong is also Sorcerer Supreme. Hooray! Because
Doctor Strange can't be trusted.
Also, Doctor Strange was blipped. Wonger
That's true.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Wong was here. So he's the Sorcerer Supreme. So the monster, America Chavez and our good guys meet up. She goes, I've been chased around the multiverse, and the last you I just met tried to kill me. I'm scared of Doctor Strange. I don't know. And they're like, just actually, we're the good ones. Come with us to, was it Camertage? And we'll protect you from...
yes,
from
that is
whatever.
what it's called. I forget that name basically the minute it stops being relevant.
So anyways, they go to Camertage, and it's like, okay, who could help us possibly figure out who's chasing America around the multiverse? Mm-hmm. And then Doctor Strange is like, I know somebody who might be able to help. Flash over to Wanda, which you've last seen at the end of WandaVision, and they start talking, and then all of a sudden, Wanda clearly just gives up the fact that, I'm the bad guy. Like, it's so not elegant.
Yeah.
And so, like, usually when you get the bad guy slips and accidentally says a fact they shouldn't know, it's like, oh no, I've exposed myself as the bad guy because I knew a thing I wasn't supposed to know. Like, it's so not smooth and elegant in this movie. But it turns out, oh my god, Wanda's the bad guy because off screen she got corrupted by the Darkhold and is now willing to kill anyone who gets in her way to get her kids back.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange tries to talk her out of it. She's like, nope, I want my kids. I'm a mom. I need my damn kids. She attacks Camertage, kills a bunch of people, almost kills him, and then she starts going spooky creepy because Sam Raimi is directing this, so it's spooky and creepy, and people are dying off screen. And he directs it perfectly fine. It's just the story that's the problem. Eventually, America sucks herself and Doctor Strange through the multiverse in a really cool shot of them just falling through the multiverse. Until they eventually...
That's one of the most impressive shots in all of the MCU.
Yes, it is.
It's really amazing.
It was really cool.
There are some amazing sequences in this movie.
Yep.
Amazing fights, too.
Mm-hmm. They then land on Earth 838, and then basically just kind of talk about stuff, learn about each other's characters, realize dealing with loss and things, and then eventually go to their... the Sanctum Sanctorum. Bump into that universe's Mordo, which remember was the tease at the end of the first Doctor Strange was Mordo was going to get revenge on all the magicians.
And then nothing happened.
And then nothing happened for that. It turns out that Mordo is part of the Illuminati. We meet the Illuminati. It's like, hey, you remember all these Marvel characters that you either want or have seen before? Here they are. Oh my god, this is really cool. Then they all die.
Yeah.
They all get clowned on.
Yeah.
It's cool, but also at the same time, kind of sucks because we just saw them and now they're all dead.
Yeah, it's a cool. I think it's a cool sequence, but in the grand scope of it, it's like kind of like it was more that it was fine when it was happening when this was earlier on in this phase of Marvel, and then as we've been getting things coming out and realizing it was like that was just kind of those were all throwaways.
They were all throwaways. Yeah.
Really. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Wanda chases that 838 Christine, our Doctor Strange, and America Chavez through the sewers, trying to get to the Book of Vishanti, like the good version of the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Which has corrupted Wanda.
Darkhold Plus.
Sure.
Eventually,
they get to the good book. Wanda chases them, and the good book is destroyed, and then realizes that the only way to stop her is with America's power, or there is no way to stop her. Wanda kidnaps America, sends Doctor Strange and Christine to a broken universe, which much like the What If episode that in the first season where Doctor Strange caused an incursion or destroyed his universe, everything was like kind of melting away like ink. He has a really, really awesome, one of the best fights in the MCU fight with himself, with music notes,
with like an evil version of him.
It's really cool.
Alternate.
Our Doctor Strange wins. Uses that version's Darkhold to dreamwalk into the dead Doctor Strange from the beginning of the movie, which was a very good, clever idea.
Yeah.
Set up and payoff. And then as he's puppeting the dead body of another Doctor Strange to attempt to stop Wanda from siphoning all of America's powers, Wong shows back. Wong was thrown off a cliff. Actually, he held on, climbed back up. So they're all fighting, and eventually, Strange does a bunch of really cool, rad cool stuff, and eventually just gives America a pep talk and says, "You can't actually control your powers. You can do it." And then she just can.
Yeah.
And then punches a hole into the multiverse to give Wanda exactly what she wants, which is the same thing Doctor Strange said 90 minutes earlier of like, Wanda, what would happen to the you in that universe if you took your own kids? He straight up says it, and then the scene just moves on, and then America then gives it to her, and like, oh no, you're right, I'm the bad guy. Oh no, I'm just gonna kill myself, basically by crunching this Darkhold temple that I'm in and getting squanched.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends. America's at Carmitage trying to learn magic for some reason, even though she's not magical.
Even though she's got powers.
She's got powers.
Maybe she's just there to learn how to control her powers. That's fine.
Maybe, but she was trying to use a sling ring.
Yeah, but who doesn't want to be able to do that?
That's true. I mean, if Ned can do it, I mean, come on, anyone, yeah. And so...
Hey, you want to go to Dave & Buster's?
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, everyone wants to apparate. It'd be pretty cool. And then, Wong's still Sorcerer Supreme. He and Stranger, cool. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a third eye pops up on Doctor Strange's foreheads for the actions or the choices that he made during the movie. And then Charlize Theron shows up.
Yep.
Teasing the next one, I guess.
But also, the teasing the next one doesn't really mean anything when you set up Mordo to be your bad guy and then nothing comes of it.
Yeah.
This is not, I will say this.
Yeah.
This like structurally is not a very great structure on like in the broad scope of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also like in the zoom in on the actual just movie structure. Not a very structurally sound movie.
No.
Fun. I will say this movie's fun.
Let's list all the really cool stuff in this movie.
Like, I think the action sequences are incredible.
Yes,
Them
they are.
fighting when they fight with the music notes they're coming off the page.
It's one of the best fights ever.
That's dope. Yeah. It's good. The fight when they're saving America from that big tentacle monster. When he jumps off, when he's at that wedding and just jumps off the thing and puts his cape on and I was like, that's one of the coolest moments in all of MCU.
Yeah.
I was like, he looks like a stone cold badass. That's awesome. And that was also the first moment where I was like, Doctor Strange is badass.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But also, like, that sequence is great. There's honestly fighting, like all of the Illuminati fighting Scarlet Witch. Those, I mean, she takes away Black Bolt's mouth and makes his head pop. That's...
Well, no, the part of the thing was, and I guess the part of the issue with that scene is like, even though it is cool to see them all, and like all these characters we've either seen before, seen in animation, but now in real life, or just like, yes, oh my god, it's all the like, everyone needs to kind of be done for the scene to happen. So it's just like, everyone's just a little bit dumb, so the scene can happen. Like, that's kind of frustrating. But these are all just throwaway characters. Oh.
I think this movie, if we're just naming good things about this movie, I think this movie has a better fundamental understanding of how to differentiate and make interesting Doctor Strange in the MCU that we have.
Yes.
Because the first one, it kind of felt like Diet Coke Iron Man.
Yes, it did.
Like in a way that like wasn't great. But this was like, we're seeing a character... We're seeing a Doctor Strange that like is realizing that the consequences of his actions and realizing that his decision making is kind of suspect, and that like him figuring out that like, hey, in most of this multiverse, you aren't a great guy. Like, you're gonna have to work really hard to get us to trust you, because you always do this thing where you think you're making the right decision and you're making the justified choice, and you're really just making a pretty selfish choice. And it's like, that's really interesting.
It's really interesting.
that's good. And I feel like that is said to us, but I think it also permeates the majority of the script. Like, I don't think this is a thoughtlessly made movie.
No, it just feels like a slightly story-based interfered with story.
It also feels like they smashed 2 screenplays together.
Yeah.
That's really where I was like,
if this was just a movie, if it really was just Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness, where he was confronted with different versions of himself and seeing how the choices the other versions of him made have led to XYZ consequences and stuff like that, and like learning the lesson of, oh, it's okay for, yes, I've made sacrifices to protect, all of reality, and one of that sacrifices was giving up Christine and letting her, be free and make her, with her own life. And that sucks, and I still love her, but that was the right choice. And sometimes I do have to make hard choices for everyone else to be, but maybe I don't have to make all of the hard choices on my own, because I actually have people around me that would actually help me.
Yeah.
Like Wonger. And eventually Madison. And Peter, if he still remembered him. But but that's not the lesson of the movie.
no.
Because it's like, hey, remember WandaVision? We're kind of doing the same story over again without all the TV stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't really learn her lesson in WandaVision at all.
No, because it seemed like...
It's really frustrating.
And we have to kind of go back to now is that, like, it seemed like the point of WandaVision was for Wanda to deal with her grief over losing Vision. And she started on that process of dealing with her grief. For what is grief if not love persevering?
Yeah.
And she drops the hex. She becomes the Scarlet Witch in an ability.
Some pretty serious character development.
Yeah, some extremely serious. And then at the very end of it is like, oh, she has a hold of the Darkhold. Uh-oh. Not thinking that, oh yeah, off screen, all this character stuff we just did, completely erased, and now she's corrupted and evil. Like, whoa, we just saw her do
Figure
some
this out.
massive growth.
Yeah.
What? Damn it.
It feels like a choice that it's just like, it would be fun to watch Scarlet Witch really pop off. I'm like, oh yeah.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
But it just...
she's my girl.
At the sacrifice of her own character.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of WandaVision is just does such a wonderful job of taking a character like that on on a journey, and then it just doesn't. This movie kind of just deletes all of that.
Yeah.
Like it would actually, this movie would make a lot more sense if WandaVision didn't happen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of, yeah.
But that's So this movie,
it's weird. Thematically, it's trying to tie in both Wanda and Steven's journeys as slightly parallel on different ends of the opposite sides of the coin.
sure,
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not one for one. It's not. They're
No.
not dealing with the same grief. And also Wanda just dealt with her grief.
yeah,
It's like
we're kind of just going over the same problem.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes a different direction in a way that I was like, you learned this lesson and you did a good job. Now why are we doing bad job? Yeah. I also think you could probably have gotten into Carmitage without scaling like a full on. You probably could have snuck your way in there and got what you needed to do. Like we don't need to stage full on war. You can get into people's heads. You could have just probably figured out a way to stroll into that place and get what you need and just stroll out, and they'd never know.
Nope. It would have been, yep.
Well, okay. I think we need to fix this thing.
Yes.
I see two roads ahead of us.
Okay. Describe the roads, Jay.
Describing the roads. There is a route. There is a route that is completely Wandaless.
Yeah. It's just a Doctor Strange movie.
And I think that might be the right choice. Or there is a route where we keep Wanda in this, but she's an ally.
Yeah.
And inevitably becomes, like, throughout the course of this movie, becomes the bad guy of Doctor Strange's third movie.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
but I think Wandaless might actually be the correct move.
Yeah. I mean, the only way in my head when we were watching this last night on the Discord was like, I think Wanda needs to be, Wanda would have to be the ally. Oh, Doctor Strange is, Doctor Strange is doing what he needs to be doing in that, like, he's not really protecting, part of his duty is protecting the universe from multiversal threats, but mostly it's like the magical multiversal threats.
Yeah.
Right? Like the demon realms and all sorts of like the other, things layered on top of our reality, not from another actual timeline.
But it's also never totally been confirmed in the MCU if the multiverse, like if magic is multiverse and vice versa. I know that's quite a sentence.
I always assumed that like it wasn't like
in the MCU.
Like
they kind of try to
was,
explain that
Mordo,
magic is like just multiversal energy.
Interesting.
And so like that's how America's like connected to all of this.
Huh. I don't know.
what I'm saying?
I from my understanding of Doctor Strange was that he's supposed to protect the universe from like Dormammu and Mephisto and other creatures of other extraplanar threats.
Yes.
Not multiversal. He can totally help with multiversal threats, but like his actual purview is the multiplanar threats.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know why he needs to go through the multiverse, but he could if he wants to learn the lesson of like, hey, your choices have consequences.
Yeah.
Because like, was like the guy at the church being like, was this the only path? Was this really the only path to get to, to get us all back? He's like, yeah, it was. I was like, that just seemed like we needed somebody to ask him, and it was like a random guy that, I don't know, it just seemed kind of weird, like random guy would know all this information and ask him like the actual pertinent question.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing is, since this movie is Doctor Strange 2, like the first and foremost thing needs to be it's Doctor Strange's journey. Like
1,000%.
It has to be his movie.
Yeah, it's because
this isn't.
He also doesn't. He's also like Benedict Cumberbatch is a strong enough actor in order to pull it off.
Yeah,
like we have all the tools here. We don't need to spread this out.
Nope. Doctor Strange story.
Sure.
Do we want to keep it going through the multiverse? Do we want to have him run into different versions of himself?
Do we need that? Do we need
Do we need him to bump into evil versions of himself?
You know what? Now that you say that, I think so. Because I think what was interesting about this movie was having tying in the what if stuff was actually really cool. Mm-hmm. And we hadn't felt that vibe in the MCU yet. It was kind of we didn't have that flavor.
Sure.
It was like, oh, so that throwaway show actually mattered? Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. That was an interesting move. Mm-hmm. So I think if we had he has to meet other versions of himself. And I know we're kind of like cribbing this from Invincible to some degree.
A little.
But I think there's something interesting and unique to the fact. Like, honestly, I feel like... Sorry, I'll finish my thought. There is something unique to the fact that most Doctor Stranges really make some really bad choices. Mm-hmm. The Doctor Stranges that make it through are few and far between, and most of them are not Sorcerer Supremes. Like, most of them are CPAs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Most of them are not.
Yeah.
They are not. They do not work there. Like, they're like, I don't... Magic? I do close-up magic, and we're like, this guy sucks.
I'm still a doctor. I'm still a surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think eventually he would have to find one, like another good version of himself, which could be like, yeah, how like, yes, I'm tempted to make these choices and take on because that's our character. Like we will self-sacrifice. We will make the hard choice and take the burden of things so others don't. But the hard lesson for us, and trust me, I've also been around the multiverse. We're not great. Is that we have to rely on our friends. Mm-hmm. We actually have so many people around us that care about us.
Yeah.
That will help us take that burden. And them helping us is not the burden that you think it is.
Yeah.
So you need to let Wong do stuff.
Also, he's better at a lot of
He's
this
also better at a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, you know, you have your Avengers or your Illuminati or whatever, you know, Exiles or whatever, you know, group they're part of. Like, they're all very capable people. And that'd also be like a nice little like name drop of other stuff from Marvel.
Yeah.
So I guess also here's another question: is America in it?
I don't think
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. And the thing is I like her, and I think it's a good character, and I think it's fun.
Oh, she should show up at some point. Absolutely.
Well, okay. One thing that could be interesting.
Sure.
If we wanted to keep her in, because I did have the thought yesterday when we were watching it. I was like, you know, we could just something could go wrong, and Strange and America could end up in this other universe with the Illuminati and everything. And then maybe we just maybe that's where just this movie takes place.
Okay.
Like, we just do an entire, like, this is just the status quo of, like, we've left, so we have a little bit of a double fish out of water situation, but we have someone there that understands multiversal travel and can kind of, like, get Strange there. But she also has, like, you know, we can get fun little quips about, like, you know, how this goes differently other places. Just a thought, like, I don't know.
So, the idea of somebody taking America's power is not a terrible idea. The question is, who could that person be? Is it another Doctor Strange? I feel like that idea wouldn't exactly work because a lot of Doctor Strange can travel the multiverse.
Yeah.
So if it's not him, then who? Mordo? Well, that's a little rough because we didn't really build up Mordo too much. But what if we did? But what if there's a Mordo who's trying to travel the multiverse to take out all the Doctor Stranges? Because Mordo is right.
Yeah.
Mordo's right. He's just wrong in our universe because our Strange has the ability to be good,
Maybe
to
that's
be right.
it. Maybe Mordo is. Maybe that's how America kind of enters the picture. Is that we have a Mordo traveling the multiverse in order to take out other Stranges. And maybe this multiversal, you know, Mordo finally gets to our Doctor Strange, and they can have like kind of an epic knockdown drag out fight, and it gets down to a point where, you know, Doctor Strange is about to lose, and then we have America kind of pop out of nowhere, save Doctor Strange, and then we can at least get more of an introduction of like to her, and it's like, hey, you don't know me. I know you. I know a lot of different yous. I've seen a lot of different yous die. I'm trying to stop a lot of different yous from dying. And, like, at least it gives her some kind of purpose. And it's, like, the kind of thing where it's like, oh, well, like, you know, she came out of nowhere. It's like, no, she came from a different dimension. She knows another Doctor Strange that they have, like, a really good relationship or something.
What if it is a little bit similar to... What if it's similar to the intro we have in this movie, right?
Okay.
It's America and a Strange. But it's a Strange that looks a lot like ours, and it's not freaking on a volume. It's like actually in like a New York, right? Like it's a very similar universe to ours. But we don't know that it's not our MCU at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we could have this knockdown drag out fight with Mordo.
Yeah.
Because that would be the continuation of what was set up in the first movie.
Yes.
Mordo's like, I'm gonna get the magicians. We shouldn't be trusted.
Yeah.
So we can have America, new character. What's going on? We don't know who this person is, and like we can have them like running and trying to hide from Mordo.
Oh, he's trying. Like, we're on our universe. He's trying to save America. He doesn't He thinks she's just magic.
No, we are in a universe that's just a little off of ours.
Okay.
So same intro, just it's in New York.
Okay.
on stuff that we the audience can recognize and be like, oh, is this the MC? Are we starting media res? Are we like right in the middle of the action with our Strange?
Sure.
And like when it maybe when he turns around or something, see the outfit's just because like the streaks were in a different place.
Yes.
So it's like,
And his hair, he had long hair. He had a ponytail.
It's like, oh, wait a second, that's not our Strange. Oh, but this looks very similar. It's not just a CG background. It's actually like it's on some type of grounded place we kind of know.
Sure.
And realize, oh, this is not exactly. Oh, we're not in the MCU.
Okay.
And then the Mordo shows up. Like, oh, a character we know from the first one. Oh, this is clearly something that is, a continuation from the first movie.
Yeah.
And then using America's power, he can kill, Mordo can kill Strange, and America could freak, because she freaks every time,
Oh, okay.
and then she...
When you say freak, you mean like teleport.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, B, oh no! And then and her powers work, and then all of them get sucked into the multiverse.
Okay.
I think all of them need to go into the multiverse.
I would agree.
Because Mordo can't have that ability yet.
No.
He needs to be able to try. He needs to be trying to kill Strange. He's trying to get to America because this is his way to like. Oh, this girl can give me the ability to really enact what I want to do.
Yeah.
Is wipe out all of the Stranges because they're all bad.
Absolutely.
So then, they fall through, and Strange and Dead Strange, and just because it's fun. And if we come around to using the dead body, sure. And America land in the MCU, and Mordo lands somewhere else.
Yeah.
We'll just see him land in some other universe or whatever, and he can just start trying to accrue power and stuff and other items to, we'll see him. We'll touch back in with him. So he's like, oh, he can use other magic too.
This is our Mordo, not a different planar.
I think this
Mordo.
is a different planar Mordo. This is a different Mordo.
Okay.
I think he runs into ours. I think that's when he gets to our universe. When this,
he starts working with the other one.
He runs into ours.
That's interesting. I like that.
Because I think this could also be, if we wanted to, a possibility of changing our Mordo to being like, oh, wait a second, I am right. Most of the time, my instinct here is right.
That doesn't mean I'm right.
But it doesn't mean in this situation I'm technically right. Because our Strange may actually be one of the ones that Mike helps.
Yeah.
So that could be a arc for our Mordo, as he works alongside with this other one.
That's interesting.
So we can, the introduction, of like, she can fall right into a middle of. We can have another action scene or something with Wonger and Strange fighting some other extraplanar beast. It doesn't need to be Christine's wedding or whatever like that. Because maybe she was contractually obligated to be in this movie, but she can just be in 838 or whatever. But like, some type of fight. Oh, she shows up. Oh, complicates the fight. Oh no, what? Who are you? You just. Why? Oh, that's another me. Oh no! Like, we gotta clean this up and do the thing and do the fight, and then let down the information. Oh, I'm America Chavez. I can travel the multiverse. I landed in this other universe, and Mordo,
I just keep finding you.
I just keep finding you.
Hi.
I don't know why I keep being drawn to each universe's you, but I am. And the last one I was in. This guy, I think it was his name, Mordo?
Morgon?
Oh, yeah. He was really trying to kill you. He really hated you. And then he saw me, and then he got this really weird look in his eye, and he's after me. He stopped chasing you, and is after me. And then that other you tried to save me, and he didn't make it. Sorry about that. He's somewhere in the multiverse. And I think that's not a good thing, because he's probably going to keep looking for me.
Yeah.
And then, and then we can cut over back to, Evil Mordo, landing in another place. Oh, he goes to another Sanctum Sanctorum, he kills another Strange, or what have you, or breaks in, or maybe kills another him, and like gets a MacGuffin to do a thing, to travel the multiverse, to start searching for her.
That's a strong enough first act. Where, how do we head into the second act here?
He shows up.
Okay.
And I think they have to. I think they fight, and our Strange and Wong. Oh no, our Strange and Wong are losing because this guy has accrued some power. Like, oh boy, he's way more powerful than our Mordo.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and then America's like, we got to go. I can't. This is not good. I don't know what I'm doing. And then just starts puts the hole in the thing.
Yeah.
And then, wah! And then we can have the same effect of them falling through all the stuff.
Okay, and then we'll go to quote unquote 616, which is such a huge mistake on their part, but
yeah, it's the MCU is not 616.
The comics are 616.
The comics are 616.
I think 617. Just call it 617.
Yep. I think
how hard is that?
I think they land. I think they can land. They need to land in a couple different places. Before they end up in 838.
Sure.
I think it needs to be the third beat. I think they land in a couple different realities and bump into
see some more fun stuff.
See some more fun stuff. Oh, this is weird. What's the thing here? Oh, it's this. Let's go to the Sanctum Sanctorum. Oh boy, I'm super crazy evil. Yeah, this is not. We got to go. And then that Strange can be like, rah, 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 like, okay, gotta go. Bye. Boom. Okay, what's here? I'd much rather spend that budget on just some different little weird jokes of different or jokes or just gags or whatever of this isn't the safe universe to be in. We got to go. Boom. Oh, no. Because she should have control of her ability. Not all the control, but just know enough to be like, gotta go. Boom, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And then they eventually will end up in 838. Because I think 838 is it was a good place.
Yeah.
And meeting the Illuminati was awesome. I think that whole sequence can kind of be trimmed up a little bit. Getting some backstory, talking about some character stuff, meet the Illuminati. That Mordo's like, oh boy, but not, he's like, oh no, you.
Also them driving home the point that hey.
Yeah, because somebody else outside.
Yeah, you were a good guy, but we still had to kill you.
Yeah, needs to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think then the battle with the Illuminati is with Steven and America getting away from them.
Yeah.
So we can see them be rad, cool, and awesome. And then we can just see Steven being like, I can do really rad, cool magic. Like, guys, I'm not trying to. We are just trying to leave you guys.
Yeah.
We do not want to. I'm not turning evil. I'm trying to stop something even worse coming in. So maybe they fight, and then eventually the evil Mordo for the movie shows up, and I'm like, that's what I'm trying to stop. We have to go.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys seem all really cool and nice, whatever, but I don't want to have this guy do things to this very nice reality you've worked very hard for. We're gonna go, and they're like, oh, okay, great, and then they can just bounce, and then the Illuminati are alive when we leave them because they were really rad, cool, and awesome. And I didn't like seeing Professor X because his neck snapped, and his head ripped off. I didn't like that. I just felt like this was precious for us, and I hated it.
Yeah, it was just kind of a big
it.
deal that he was in the thing, and it just. I will say though, it was shocking. It got my attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's for fucking sure.
Yes, it was. Yes,
Yeah.
it was. But I
it
think,
wasn't.
yeah,
But it was also. But I will say, I have yet to feel a pop in the theater, much like when. I guess pun intended. When Black Bolt blew his own brains out, everyone went, "Oh no!" It was like, "Oh, the movie's going there. Oh my god, the movie's going there." That was fun. But on a second watch through, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is so none of it really matters."
he's very good at not speaking. Why would he? Why would he say a thing? Why would he say anything?
I'm so sorry.
Why would he say anything? He signed earlier. Why would he say anything?
Why would he say anything?
He wouldn't say anything.
Why would he say anything?
It was also that same actor. Is that the guy who played Christopher Pike? You didn't watch. You have not watched Brave New Worlds. So, sorry. Sorry. I thought for a second. I thought that was the same guy that played
know what you're talking
Christopher
about.
Pike on the Star Trek show Strange New Worlds.
It might be.
But I think we meet the Illuminati. He gets told that oh no, we had to kill you here because we also know a lot about the multiverse, and you are a problem. You're a problem. Most of the time, you are a problem because you just do all sorts of stuff. I think we bounce to another. We find ourselves back in another. We can find.
Because he assumes they're gonna help him.
Yes. Yeah. And they're like, we're not. No. You're actually an issue. You're a multiversal issue. So
yeah.
I'm glad that you seem to be nice, but we can't take.
We don't necessarily
with
condone what Mordo's doing, but also we're not gonna stop him. We see his point. We're not going to help him, but we're also not going to get.
We're going to mitigate anything that happens here. We don't want, but you are. Sorry, Steven. You seem like a nice guy.
We already
but
went through one of you. We don't need to do it twice.
Nope.
Yeah.
They can fall to another, they can like emergency, bamf into another universe. It could be the failing one.
Yeah.
So we have the music fight.
I mean,
because the music fight was we had that's
it's so good.
so good.
I think because I don't think like I actually would like this movie. Someone mentioned in Discord, it was like this movie could just be a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And like I kind of want this movie to be a little bit smaller. And it's just like let's just have this be kind of like a little bit of like a narrowing in of just a little bit of a character journey to some degree. It's just like, hey, like this, there are certain things about your character that like you need to be able to get over, and you need to be able to like, but also like there are also things about you that are good that we need to accentuate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is like, hey, this is how other people see you, how a lot of people see other versions of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you see yourself. And then we kind of like come to a head and heal. I'm fine with that as a Marvel movie doesn't have to be like, I'm the bad guy, I want power.
Yeah.
Like I like this as being a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like that the real bad guy is himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this like has quite the like big pop that they would expect out of a Marvel movie. At least what we're presenting right now.
Sure, but I mean, I think one of the issues with, and I think maybe at some point we do, maybe when we come back in the fall, we do like a whole like, Marvel fix, post Endgame fix of like how do we take this massive story that there's so much
I
good
don't know,
here,
man. That's
and just try to
maybe that's the end of season 2. Maybe we just call our shot at the beginning and then work on that the entire time.
Sure, possibly. But I think then
that's huge.
I think that, and then we have the music fight. We have a chance. They kill that Strange, and then I think that in that dying reality, that is a pretty good place to hide for right now. That America and Steven can just kind of like talk out all the things they saw.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've been through how many universes have you been to at this point? Like 73. Well, wait a second. I guess it's 79 now. And like, yeah, I bumped into a lot of you. Like 6 were nice. I'm sorry, man. And then like they can just talk, and he can, from a fresh perspective of like, you don't know who I am, but you've seen a lot of different versions of me, and he kind of, decompressed of what the Illuminati said and the things that he saw and the different versions of himself. And it was like, hey, you know what? Mordo maybe had a point. And not that he's going to sacrifice himself to it.
No.
But maybe just realize that maybe, wow, okay, I've been an arrogant, guy. I have to hold the knife.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't actually have to hold the knife. Maybe that's the best version of myself. I can hold the knife sometimes, but maybe I need to share the knife.
Huh.
And so knowing that they can't stay here forever because this reality is breaking down, he's like, let's go back. So we come back to the MCU, knowing full well that this, Mordo will show up. And I think in the absence, or as they are going to be bouncing back and forth through stuff, we kind of come back to the MCU, and we could see how as Wong was with Wanda, as we were kind of flashing back, maybe Wong is with our MCU's Mordo, because maybe the evil Mordo that's been bouncing through finds his doppelganger in the MCU, and they kind of team up to help a little bit.
Sure.
And but then when everyone leaves, it just leaves Wong and Mordo kind of. And they have been having some, maybe.
Yeah, I think we have our universe's Mordo spending time with this multiversal Mordo who is like tearing through the multiverse on a vengeance kick, and then it becomes like pretty apparent pretty quickly that everything that like this multiversal Mordo is talking about doesn't really apply to our Steven, and that maybe like. It's like, oh, maybe we, like, through seeing his description and his actions on regarding the other ones, he's like, he starts to believe in Doctor Strange himself, and meets up with Wong, and then they eventually they team up back to like kind of get our Steven back, and take out this multiversal Mordo together.
Together.
Because he realizes it's just like, oh.
So I am right, but in this instant, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And you are actually, you're the one of the best we could hope for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel a little bit of the fool because he's seeing.
Well, you're also having two people who are aggressively black and white having to both exist and land in a space that is aggressively gray.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't save the galaxy every time. I need but also I'm one of the few people that can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think magic is too powerful in the hands of one person, but also this guy should have the power. There's a lot of they have to kind of come together a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't explain myself very well on that.
I got you though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little reversal here in the middle of Act 3.
Because why not be friends with this dude?
Yeah.
There's no reason we need to get rid of another character.
Yeah. This is a multiverse.
Yeah.
There's lots of the 616 version of Mordo can be super evil. This one can actually, learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Because why not? And also, an incredible actor that I would much rather him go on an amazing journey of self-discovery and be around to kick ass later on than be a one-shot villain of, I just don't like Doctor Strange, I don't like magic. People shouldn't have it. Mm-hmm. Because that's what the problem with Marvel. They get rid of, amazing actors in these villain roles, and they're done. Oh, and they're dead. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I felt like if they stuck around a little bit, or maybe learned a little bit of a lesson and did something different in the comics,
it could have been fine.
It could have been fine. Yeah, so I think that, they come together, teamwork, friendship, some really cool magic stuff, some clever, maybe the dead body comes back, around because it was there, set up and payoff. And they defeat this multiversal Mordo. And then our MCU Mordo and Steven can be kind of okay, we were friends back in the day, and then are we? I think we're maybe on the path of becoming friends again, because clearly you've seen that I'm nowhere near what those were.
Yeah.
And you're nowhere near what that was. So maybe we can work together because we kind of want the same thing.
Then they kiss.
Because you know how you kiss.
Yeah.
And then Wanger's, still Sorcerer Supreme. And they hey,
and I think
in America, you can stay here.
Sequence is just saying that the Darkhold isn't in Carmitage anymore, and we don't know who has it.
Oh,
right? Or does she have it at the end?
She does have that in the end of WandaVision.
Yeah, but she doesn't get it. Does she get it in WandaVision? Oh, because Agatha has it.
Yes, because Agatha has it. No.
Right?
I think if I remember correctly, the end credits scene is just her with it.
Yeah, I think then maybe, the end credit sequence of Doctor Strange could just be hey,
showing up to Wanda. Yeah.
Or, no, I don't even think we need to reveal her as a villain at that point. I think it's just...
Oh, no, I don't think no, I just think she not even revealed as a villain. Just, she can just go and talk to Wanda. If you want to.
Or I think it's just we don't have the Darkhold has been missing. We don't know where it is.
Oh, okay.
It's as simple as that.
Sure.
It's it explains she's not supposed to have it. I mean, it was pretty clear in I don't know. I loved WandaVision. I think that last final sequence really throws a lot of it off.
Yeah, it does.
Or maybe did she get it from Agatha?
No, but Agatha meant she sees it in her basement and she tells her what it is all about.
Yeah.
I don't think she grabs it. I don't think we see her grab it. I think we just see her with it.
Okay. But I think I like this movie a lot more. I don't know if it necessarily makes quite the splash that
This is just the rough outline of all the cool things we could drape off of it and the fun fights we could have with the other strangers.
I think there's a way to weave Wanda in here. I think maybe at some point we go to Wanda for help for something.
Sure. I mean, to be honest, I think the Wanda and Strange team up deserve their own thing, but this was supposed to be a Doctor Strange sequel, and Wanda was not really in a position to just become the villain.
No.
She was in the position to have someone talk to her.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
I
she
don't
was
know.
on the
Clint.
right. She was back on the right path. It
Yes.
seemed like.
Mm-hmm. If
And then
anything, she should have talked to Clint. God, I still want that. I'm still furious. We are robbed of that scene
Which scene?
of her and Hawkeye talking.
Did they tape something?
No,
Oh,
just in general, or her talking to Steven about like magic and stuff. And I became the Scarlet Witch, and like I know what to think too about Lost myself. Like I know this is really hard, but like you are now a caliber of person who like, hey, we need to be. You're an Avenger. Like, hey, let's get you back on that lunchbox. Let's get you back in the active roster. Like, we need your help.
yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, Wanda deserves more character time.
Yeah.
If she goes dark, sure.
But also, if you don't, you
But
need
if you
you need White Vision in this movie if you're gonna have Wanda in this movie.
yeah, that's a good point.
Like you set up this whole thing and then you just like didn't even.
Nope.
You have a character that like I don't know.
Wanda deserves more.
I think so. I think we just keep Wanda out of it.
Wanda
and we move on to it
deserves
later.
more.
Yeah.
And in another project that's maybe a Scarlet Witch movie or just something, probably a movie.
I don't know. I like her more as honestly her being the hero that inevitably becomes a villain. I think is more compelling than like I don't know if she gets a full on hero movie. I don't know if it's there. I think it only works because she's really compelling.
She's very compelling.
Like there's really no other way around it. But yeah, this is a much smaller, more intimate Doctor Strange movie.
Because it's about Stephen Strange dealing with his
Figuring
issues.
his shit out.
Yeah.
And we also had been pretty primed by the pump of like, hey, there's other strangers and they make bad choices.
Mm-hmm.
How do we make good choices? How do we make the best choices? Like deciding to listen to Fix It. Yeah, your favorite podcast. Well, I think we did it, dude.
I think we did do it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to lose like the pomp and circumstance of it, but yeah, I think it needs to be smaller.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the issues with Marvel in general. It feels like it needs to go big.
It's trying to.
And it doesn't need to.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Because I'll grant you this, the script for Far From Home.
Sure. Very simple.
It's a smaller tale.
Yeah.
Even though massive, major things and big things are happening involving the multiverse,
It has a lot of characters in it. That doesn't mean it's a complicated story.
it's still not a complicated story.
Like it's way simpler than this. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, how would you guys fix this movie?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, or if you're catching this, on YouTube, you know what to do. Actually, yeah, nope.
Yeah.
If you're catching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube that you do so well. And if you're catching this wherever you catch your audio podcasts, you know what to do. Leave us 5 stars. Maybe leave us a quick review. I like reading them. They make me happy, and they help with the algorithm.
Right?
And next week we are fixing...
let me look at it.
I think we're fixing Fury Road.
So
we're
next
fixing
week,
Beyond Thunderdome.
Beyond Thunderdome, because Furiosa comes out
That's
next
right.
week. So we're fixing Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
We're fixing Bada Town.
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
Oh, you're in for a treat. This movie's buck wild.
You know what? I don't think I've seen any of the Mad Max. Oh, the old, the
Hey, for real?
yeah,
They're fun.
because I was too young for them when they came out.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I caught him as a high schooler.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
At that point, I was like, oh, this is these movies look weird. I don't
they're
like
not
this.
they're not very good. Is the answer to the question in the
Okay.
best possible way.
Okay, great.
Like they're that kind of 80s movie.
Mm.
Not quite Waterworld. They're better than that.
Sure.
But,
Well, I mean, an 80s version of Waterworld would have been
yeah,
better.
dude. Yeah, it's Tina Turner playing the boss of a wasteland.
Of Thunderdome, right?
Yeah, it's great. She's a Bartertown.
I don't know.
Master Blaster. Come on now.
I don't know. I'll find out next week.
Yeah, you sure will.
Okay, great.
And as we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's a silent, creepy Scarlet Witch that just kind of appears, behind you out of nowhere, and then
She could have just snuck into the building.
whisper.
She should have just showed up and been like, hey, don't tell anyone I'm here, and just give me the paper that I need, and I'm going to bail. And you're just going to let me do that. And they'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
Just into the fingers things and the creepy head motion that you don't see coming.
This has been Rug Talk. We'll see you next week.
Bye.